Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome to Bubblelandia. Feast your eyes on Bubblelandia. I bet you thought this was the La Muerta Primeval Kickstarter preview. Well, it is, but first, feast your eyes on Bubblelandia. All right, I'm being silly. What can I tell you? It's Friday. Look, we are about to get into the La Muerta Primeval Kickstarter, but look, I got to acknowledge that there's a little sadness over the day. I have to just acknowledge and let you know that we've lost two people in the last 24 hours, and it's tough. First, we lost one of the biggest, brightest, most magnificent collectors in Coffin Comics sworn history, and that's Mr. Jeffrey Walsh. So please send a very pleasant message to his lovely wife, Wendy Walsh, Karen Walsh. And, you know, hey, this man was a beloved collector and touched a lot of hearts inside Sworn Nation. And Wendy herself also is a tremendous collector. They're very deep track. They're very into it. And again, I apologize. I'm just sort of present to the sadness of it all. And you know what, that life, you know, you just got to keep going. It's crazy. You know, we're going to do this preview, but you know, I'm sad. And so please reach out to Wendy and anyone, and let's put a toast up. I'd also like to acknowledge I'm very sad today because of the passing of Neal Adams. Neal Adams is an icon in the world of comic books. He left a mark for a multitude of reasons to the entire industry and to me personally. Whether you know it or not, besides his magnificent talent, which was singular and completely game-changing, Neal Adams was a big proponent for creator rights. And he really changed the game in ways that my generation of comic book creator truly got to benefit from. I generally have not been a work-for-hire based creator, but what Neal was able to do, working with other legends in the field, was to help turn the tide and have original artwork returned back to creators. And I believe that that extra level of respect to creative people is something that I also benefited from. On a personal level, Neal, I've had conversations with Neal Adams, if you could believe this, since 1974, when I just work for comic book dealers, and would witness Neal give portfolio reviews to people and actually kind of change people's lives. He was a force of nature, and I'll miss him. And my condolences to Marilyn, to Buzz, to Joel, and the other Adams, both the Adams family and the extended family. So that's a little bit how I'm feeling. Jeffrey, rest in peace. Wendy, we love you. And Neal, sorry?
Okay.
Karen, sorry. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. And again, excuse me, I must admit, I'm a little discombobulated by these passings. So forgive me. But as they say, the show must go on, and I am here to deliver the goods because Coffin Comics is about fun and excitement. So without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? So here we are. The name of the game is La Muerta Primeval Kickstarter, coming at you Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. Arizona time. That's 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Be there. It's going to be crazy. This story is by the usual band of lunatics. Writer Mike McLean, illustrator Joel Gomez, colorist CC De La Cruz, and veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. Can you believe that this creative team has remained together for over 8 years? I will take a little credit this time around. Myself, Joel, and Mike concocted the story where we take our urban vigilante into the jungle. So welcome to the jungle, Maria Diaz. This story takes her completely out of her comfort zone as she leads a rescue mission to rescue her CO, who has now been lost in the Amazon. What's going on there? What's happened? Let's all leave it up to a secret and let you discover it while you read the story. And understand that it ties into our World War Death storyline, because La Muerta is going to encounter in the deepest, darkest jungle a white reaper by the name of Temora, who will change her life forever. Would you guys and gals like to see the additions associated with this kick? Come on over this way. So check this out. First up, we have the Premiere Edition. This cover is by the one and only Mike Chrome, very psychedelic, colored by Hedwin Zalvidar. Gosh, I hope I'm not butchering his name. Sorry. And that was recommended by Mike Chrome. And Hedwin has since colored a lot of our covers. And man, he is just knocking it out of the park. I also expect to ask him to be part of, to do some covers himself soon. Next up, the Homage Edition. This time around, we're homaging the classic Daredevil #1. This case artwork by Stephen Butler, colored by Dan Feldmeyer. And we have the Joel Gomez edition. Series artist Joel Gomez renders his very own cover and tier to evoke what is going on in our storyline with the aforementioned Temora and one of our other insidious evils in the story. Next, the one and only Jewel edition by Sun K, returning champion. And next, the Temora edition. This edition of Temora is by Megan Hetrick. And this image is very evocative. And what can you say? This is just a knockout image. You know, I think if you really pull back on the image, you begin to start to see the outline of a skull that she's laying on. Megan Hetrick, who has been a contributor to Coffin Comics through the years, has truly outdone herself in this work, and I hope that you guys are as excited about it as I am. Next, another returning champion, Mike DiBalfo, in the Holofoil edition. The Holofoil edition. Now, this is, this just gives you a sense of what's going on in our story. There's La Muerta, urban street vigilante, but, yep, she is in the jungle. Oh, lordy, lordy, look what Colette Turner went and did. This is the Mega Foil edition. Frequent contributor and a woman who is known to simply knock it out of the park. Boom, Colette Turner. Next, we have a facsimile of our hardcover, which is by Matt Meerhoff. And you're going to start to notice the coloring and these strange mushrooms. And if you look into the other covers, you're starting to see how evocative it is. And on our main cover, there is a psychedelic quality. There's something going on in this jungle, man. You're going to have to read the story to find out what it is. Oh boy, here we go. This is the Heavy Metallico edition by Sora Song. And rounding out, Joel Gomez, series artist, will have 3 original art tiers. This blank will solely be drawn by Joel. There'll be 3 tiers Joel's offering. They'll be limited to the amount that we have on the campaign. There's, I think it's, the first one is mid-waist and up with a spot of color. The next one is full figure. And then the third tier is a wraparound image by Joel. He will be drawing his choice, but generally characters associated with La Muerta, as you can imagine. So this is the base of our campaign, these main editions. But now I'm going to show you some prints. This is just a portion of the prints available. Our commemorative edition featuring the magnificent and ridiculously wonderful Mike Chrome, the Temora commemorative by Megan Hetrick, and some of the additions. Holy mackerel. Can you see that? Billy Tucci in Hi-Fi. Dang, maybe I shouldn't show the prints because I'm showing some of the stuff ahead of time. Yeah, let's come back here. Let me show you guys and gals there. Well, let me show you Bubblelandia again. Bubblelandia. Let's do it. One more. Bubblelandia. Let me show you some of the books associated with some of our upper tiers. So the high roller is going to be all the books that I just showed you, plus this book, which is the pop art edition by Monty Moore. And here's where we are doing a Patrick Nagel riff. And that's continuing the trend. Each one of our Kickstarters, Monty is contributing a Patrick Nagel riff. And we've already discussed what riff we're going to work on for next year. Pretty cool. Really fits into the theme. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Now, beginning our upper tier. Holy mackerel, Tavon and Jesse Witchman. Please feast your eyes on this. Really evoking the theme. It's a Medusa-like image by Witchman. Woo, there's that same image that is now done in paper for those of you who like to grade those as well. And then we have the Sora Song. Again, I like this evokes what's going on in the jungle at night with the little creatures. And next up we have the Sia Hunter Edition. I mean, come on. Look at that. I think another thing that's kind of neat about this cover is there's daytime. Like, how rare is it that we show daytime? And also part of the upper tier, the Tamora edition by Jose Varice, colored by Sanju Nivenjun. If you get a real close look with Tamora, you're starting to understand that this character is almost part of the jungle itself. I mean, someone has said in the past, this is our poison ivy, but of course it's Coffin style. So she is definitely a primordial force of the Amazon jungle. Now, I don't know if any Kickstarter would be complete without a Dan Mendoza contribution. He's just singularly unique talent. So here is Dan's tier, where we see it's called Ensnared and Joy, where we see Tamora versus La Muerta, perhaps a preview of what's to come. These editions are actually also part of the Mega Baller. So the Mega Baller would be all these editions, all of these editions, and a mystery envelope. And we're going to get to the mystery envelopes. But I thought for fun, well, I don't think I'm going to show the Legend tier, the ultimate. Heck, I'll show you. So check out who we roped in for the Legend tier. My pal, the one and only Billy Tucci, and my other pal, Brian Miller. Legend tier artist. Here is the Legend tier with trade dress, the Legend tier Virgin Art, and the Noir edition, just Billy's pencils. These are colored by Brian from Hi-Fi, and these are just knockouts. I mean, I can't thank Billy enough for his contribution, his excitement. You know, I'm thinking about it. He and I go back literally over 30 years, 28 years. Same thing with Brian from Hi-Fi. Now, these editions, this is how crazy we are over at Coffin Comics. This set will be limited to 50. That's it. So if there's any La Muerta fans and Bill Tucci fans, I thought it'd be cool to have, you know, an actual former part of the U.S. military, as Billy was, actually drawing a former soldier. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, to cap off the Legend tier, we're including the Ultimate Edition, and that is by Joel Gomez. And there it is. Ready for action, La Muerta. Really stark, simple, black, white, and red coloring. Again, limited to 50 copies. Strap in and start your engines. All right, look, let's talk mystery envelope, shall we? Let's start right here. The mystery envelopes are limited in nature. No edition, I think, on this one is more than 40 copies. 40 copies. And we're going to tip in a couple publisher file copies, a couple artist proofs, a couple BPs, and a couple Omegas. Now, some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. What the heck am I talking about? I'm going to let you know. In our editions, we actually have, for some editions, we actually initial the artist's name. In that case, I guess creator's name, BP. So it'll be in the lower right-hand corner. And usually these are limited to, gosh, I don't know, 2 or 3% of the print run. So let's say if a print run is 100, there might be 5 BPs, 1 or 2 will only ever get out to the public. And then they greedily hold on to the others. Each edition gets its own Omega. There is only one, and we're going to tip 2 of them in from one of these editions. I don't know which one. Artist proof editions, same thing. We sometimes do APs for books of a very limited nature. Historically, rarely more than 5, sometimes more, sometimes less. Then publisher file copies. For a multitude of reasons, which are explained here, we might have to make 1 or 2 or 3 extra copies of a given item to assure that we have a couple copies left for loss and damage. So we hold those back, and we tip in a couple of those. Now, for the new editions, where are we starting again, Jimmy Coffin? We're starting right here. So these are your mystery envelopes for La Muerta Primeval. Holy mackerel, first ever. Keith Garvey, metal cover. Metal. I think it was limited to 40 or 50 copies. Keith Garvey. Super stoked working with Keith Garvey. Works great. Look forward to more. Next up, there is a series called the Coffin Verse Editions by Gomez, featuring Lady Death, Hell Witch, Lady Satanis, and Captain Scargrave. They are limited to 40 copies. What am I thinking, folks? I don't know. Next up, Singular Images, Singular Visions, Anna Zucco, Richard Ortiz. Now, next up, Psychedelic Mind Trip Editions by Alex Ronald. Again, evoking the strange nature of this, mind-bending nature of this story. And check out Ryan Kincaid's editions in Nice and Naughty. I love how he's evoking the jungle back here with the skull. Limited to 40. What are we thinking? We don't know. We just have fun making this stuff, man. All right, come on over here. You're going to see more. Michael Dooney editions, limited to 40. Day and Night editions. Michael Dooney. Then Greg Bo Watson, super psychedelic, outrageous design work. Check out the thought and precision that went into this. The cool sugar skulls in the background. And this looks like a crazy ayahuasca trip. I don't know. Next up, George Weber with the Rockabilly editions. George Weber is a super cool artist that I met through the sketch card community. And there's 2 cool versions. There's Rockabilly style with the cool whip in the back, and then La Muerta atop some skulls. Can you believe we have enlisted Larry Wells, most known for the comic book Cherry, to do some editions? Pretty psychedelic again, fun, crazy theme. Larry, again, Singular Vision, wonderful artist. Met Larry years ago in New Mexico, and man, I just got to tell you, I am a fan. So we do a little nod to Cherry when we do a Cherry style logos. Yeah, check out, we do go crazy with the logos, right? So each time we get the style and the vibe, we just like to. It's fun. Next up, here we go again. Infinity Verse La Muerta. Infinity Verse La Muerta. Is that a pony La Muerta? Is that a pony La Muerta? I don't know. I think that's what you're seeing. You know, a Spartan, a pirate, and a matador. But I know what you're thinking. It's a pony. You're right. It's a pony. So that's the mystery envelopes. Hope you enjoy those too. Now, I know there's some folks out there who like cards. I like them. So check out the cards we have for the official cards for the campaign. Whoa, Legend by Billy Tucci, Mike DiBalfo, Colette Turner, Sora Sung, Joel Gomez, and Keith Garvey. Those are your official La Muerta Primeval metallic cards. 20 years from now, when we look back, those were the cards for the set. How about Prince? How about some more? Oh boy, Sora Sung, Temora by Jose Varice, and Sun K. And there will be more prints revealed during the campaign. So let me see, folks. In fact, here they are. DeBalfo, Matt Meerhoff, Gomez, Turner, Sora Song, Stephen Butler, Daredevil Homage, and the one and only Monty Moore. Bubblelandia. Folks, here we are. We have submitted the Kickstarter. We have not heard back if we are approved. This is not unusual. We should hear back on Monday. Did you know that there's a submission process every time? There is. It's wild. But if the comic gods shine upon us, we will be approved and we will launch Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, Arizona time, and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to say that you guys have been great. I've been Brian Polito, and this has been the La Muerta Primeval Kickstarter campaign preview. Have a great weekend, everybody.